Okay, pro wrestling fans, a little old school Starrcade 1991 memory for you. Yes, I was a young man, but I was there. A friend of mine won tickets from a radio station, so we were amongst the many papered, as they say, fans. Papered meaning we got free tickets. On the tickets, there was actually a price value, which I remember being something like $8 to go to Starrcade 91. Now, we did not have great seats, I'm not going to lie to you, but our seats were decent. We had a hell of a lot of room around us, I remember that. We were able to put our feet up on the chairs in front of us and kind of lay back and watch this wrestling show. And it was in the Norfolk Scope, I believe, which was also the home of Starrcade 88. Now, around this time, folks, I do have to wonder, why did the NWA never go back to Greensboro? We know why they left in '87. Dusty Rhodes with a miscalculation, thinking he should take the Starrcade show to a big-time city like Chicago. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off, and it effectively killed the town of Greensboro. They tried to do a make-good with Clash of the Champions, and it didn't really work, to be quite honest. I think they also did some pay-per-views in the incoming years. I believe it was a Wrestle War 90, Luger vs. Flair with Sting on the crutches. Wasn't that in Greensboro? Point is, they wanted Starrcade in Greensboro, so they could have easily come back for Starrcade 91. They didn't, and that kind of allowed me this opportunity to be at the show. I just listened to the Conrad Thompson podcast, and I appreciate Conrad using my question in the end portion of the show, 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff. Eric was new to WCW NWA at the time. Just an announcer coming over from the AWA. I'm seeing a disturbing sight over here. There's a gentleman on this beach, and he's wearing jeans, and he's kind of crouched, and just getting too much of a view of what's going on down there. It's a little inappropriate. Might have to say something, but in any event, okay, he stood, we're done. Basically, what did I feel about this show? How did I feel about this Starrcade 91 show? It kind of has the same feeling of these modern day Survivor Series, like the last 3 or 4 Survivor Series. It's like back in the old time days, they used to build the wrestling calendar towards the end of the year, meaning Starrcade, or in the territory days, you had the Atlanta Tag Team Title Tournament. You had Star Wars, if anyone remembers that, from World Class Championship Wrestling. The Star Wars shows tended to be on Thanksgiving night and then Christmas night. But for this NWA, WCW, now it's officially WCW, and it's the first Starrcade, I believe, where they didn't use the word or the initials NWA. Because at this point they had been sued or pressed for whatever against whatever NWA promoters were left, so they were officially WCW. Although, flash forward a year ahead to Starrcade 92, they had the NWA title on that, so it's a whole other mess. But going back to this Norfolk Scope, sitting there watching this show, try to give you a little perspective of the area that I'm in, socially distant. But it was like watching all these wrestlers come out and trying to kind of push some storylines together. And they did that a couple of times with the Brian Pillman, Bobby Eaton, Sting, Abdullah match, the Cactus Jack, and the Buddy Lee Parker, Abdullah thing. It really was a hodgepodge, and I think that 83 Weeks nailed it. And Conrad, good job to Conrad, because I think this was a little before his time as a hardcore NWA fan, but or WCW fan. See, I just fucked myself in the ass. There were just, the match length was like the bad matches were getting more time than the good matches. So whenever the crowd would kind of get lit up, like with Pillman and Eaton, we were really getting into that. And Sting and Cactus and some of these highlighted moments, those matches were short than the long Mike Grahams and the, Ron Simmons beating up Southern Boys or something. The match quality the length time the match was off. So I think Conrad kind of nailed that. Credit to him. At the same time, also another big factor, this is your first post-Ric Flair Starrcade. So we didn't have Ric Flair at Starrcade for 2 years in a row, 91 and 92. I would offer that 92 Starrcade, when they scaled back on Battle Bowl and the Lethal Lottery, it was more palatable. It was just 4 matches and a 8-man battle royal at the end. I think they just did the 1 ring as well. That was better. And then eventually, I think it was at 93 or 94 perhaps, they did Battle Bowl. I know Sting won it, then Muta won it, then Vader won it. I think in 93 they did it at its own pay-per-view, which was very confusing actually for me at the time, because I was at a place where I couldn't get cable TV and I wasn't getting the updates of the NWA or WCW pay-per-view schedule, and I was wondering what the hell was going on with Starrcade, because you know, they did do the Lethal Lottery, but it was 93. It had its own pay-per-view, and I think did they do it in 94, 95? I don't think so. It came back in the summer of 96, June of 96 with DDP. I don't know if they ever did it again on pay-per-view. I can't remember, and I don't think they did. So basically you had, what, 91, 92, 93 with Vader winning, and then DDP winning. So for whatever the fuck it's worth, there's only been 4 people, Sting, Muta, Vader, and DDP, to win this fucking Battle Bowl thing. So going back to the night, I mean, just sitting there and watching these, once again, I can put myself in the seat, but the feeling of we're kind of waiting for something to happen. And eventually what did happen was Sting versus Luger, which was really a little premonition towards the February 29th pay-per-view. And by the fucking way, I pointed this out years ago. If you look at the WWE Network, they have Super Brawl 2 listed as February 28th, 1992. It's actually February 29th, 1992. It was on Leap Day, okay? So, moving forth, seeing Luger and Sting do their confrontation, have their fisticuffs, it was good. It was a good payoff. They did go at it for quite a while. I want to say 5 or 6 minutes. You had Luger and Sting, and they did have a good chemistry, those two guys. Now, of course, in real life, they were good chums. They owned a gym together, which was kind of one of those things that a lot of people knew about. They didn't really acknowledge that on television, unless the two guys were, you know, both baby faces. Jim Ross might mention it. But other times, they really didn't mention Luger and Sting were good friends outside the ring, because if they did, you know, you wouldn't buy a ticket to see them wrestle. I could be imagining this, but maybe Jim Ross made a mention of those two being business partners or associates, or in the past is how they would put it, at their February 29th Super Brawl 2 match at 92. What else can I say? The Elegante Zbyszko thing probably played better in real life. I will say that's one of those things that they try to do in the storyline, that Zbyszko and Elegante were partners and they weren't getting along very well. And I think what kind of got that over for the live audience was the sheer height of Elegante. He really did tower over everybody. He was tall. He was legitimately tall. So I think, I could be wrong, but did Elegante end up body slamming Zbyszko? I guess I'll have to watch this goddamn tape again. Missy Hyatt looked good. You know, I know that Bischoff doesn't particularly like her, and they've had their legal wranglings, but I thought Missy Hyatt, and look, I guess she looked good because she was fucking a lot of wrestlers, so she had to look good in order to be fucked by them. So good for Missy Hyatt, looking good in her black dress. What else? It was a show. It happened. I think for me, when they started diminishing Starrcade, this was really the first big diminishment. Actually, you could say that Starrcade, you could say 88 or 87 when they left Greensboro. So, I mean, of course you could say in 84 they kind of left Greensboro. They took half the card, or I guess 85. 85, they took half the card out of Greensboro and put it in Atlanta. But those Greensboro fans were very loyal, very forgiving, willing to share with the Atlanteans. But once you get to like Starrcade 88, it was not in Greensboro. It was not on Thanksgiving night. You get to 89, it's a tournament. I liked the 89, but they really tinker-fucked with Starrcade. And I think that's, if you think about it, what if the NFL were to tinker-fuck with the Super Bowl? What if they were going to say, hey, you know what? We're going to do the Super Bowl. We're going to have 2 quarters of the game on Saturday and 2 quarters on Sunday. And you have to sit and wait overnight. You know what I mean? They could do that for a money grab. They could say, hey, the Super Bowl first half is on Saturday, and then you have to buy another ticket to go on Sunday. And you have to watch another pregame show, and you have to sit in suspense, and blah, blah, fucking blah. You could do that. Now, of course, if the first half was a blowout on Saturday and they come back on Sunday, how many people would watch? We don't know. I'm saying that that would not be something smart to do. And I'm making that comparison to Starrcade, to fiddle fucking with Starrcade, taking it off Thanksgiving and taking it out of Greensboro. Granted, the Thanksgiving thing probably was a good move because they were trying to avoid the heavy hand of Vince. But taking it out of Greensboro was a dumb, stupid move. Okay, as great as Dusty was, if that was his idea, it was a faulty one. Yes, we get all Monday fucking morning quarterback. Nobody Monday morning cornerbacks, by the way. You know, no one says, hey, I'm a Monday morning cornerback. You're a Monday morning quarterback. Now, what if you play the game on Monday night? Then what are you, a Tuesday morning quarterback? Or a Tuesday morning cornerback? Any fucking goddamn way. After this pay-per-view, unfortunately, me and my friend had travel issues. We were basically stuck in that town of Richmond, Virginia, or Norfolk, for several days, beyond our control, unable to leave. I believe we went to a Pizza Hut buffet twice to eat, and I think we watched the Kids in the Hall skit of the Flying Pig a few times on HBO. So we did have a good time doing those things, and then eventually had to take a bus back to our destination. So there you have it, folks. That's my Starrcade 91 memories and remembrances. These memories were kind of triggered. I just listened to the 83 Weeks with Conrad and fucking Bischoff and enjoyed it. I thought they did a nice job, but Bischoff was trying to be positive Peter. You hear some of these funny things of the Pro Wrestling Torch and Dave Meltzer trying to put over Terrence Taylor and all these silliness things. Once again, pro wrestling fans, this video is for your enjoyment. There's many pro wrestling memories. I'm trying to organize my videos for you. Pro Wrestling Memories on one playlist, Pro Wrestling Rants on another. So you can watch them both, or if you just like the memories, you can watch the memories, you can watch the rants. I think that I try to get back into my emotions at this time. Starrcade 91. Look, we knew that we didn't have Flair, okay? But there was a strong contingency of fans, and I watched both WWF and WCW and whatever else would come on. But there was a strong contingency of us that was trying to hold on to our NWA heritage, or now our WCW heritage. We didn't want to see the company go under. We were trying to support them the best we could. And, you know, things like this, like hanging in through this god-awful pay-per-view, were things that we try to do to show our appreciation and our anti-Vinceanism. So for those wrestling fans out there who are strictly WWE marks, strictly going to eat the soup of WWE that they are fed and not question it like Hansel and Gretel, I would just simply ask you folks, you know, is it worth it? I mean, did you find that, you know, did you find that Goldberg squashing Kevin Owens for the Universal title a few years ago and ruining what could have been a great Kevin Owens-Chris Jericho Universal title match at Mania, did that reward you as a fan? Did it? When your NXT heroes, when your Keith Lees are sacrificed like lambs to the mighty master of Vince McMahon on the main roster, does that satisfy you? No. That's why we always have to have a choice, an alternative. The wrestlers, the boys as it were, need somewhere else to work and make money to put food on their table for their families and so forth. So stop being so loyal to Vince McMahon. He cares nothing about you. He cares nothing about your family. He fires employees during a pandemic. He has very little regard for human worth. So that's what I'm just telling you. That's why you have to support things such as perhaps AEW and other promotions, or even make, like I have, a time machine to the past. Watch old wrestling promotions on VHS or YouTube or whatever the fuck, or DVD. Just enjoy other things beyond the current WWE product. So that's Mike Messier with your Starrcade fucking memory. Wow, time fucking flies, folks. I still look fucking pretty good. There you fucking have it, folks. MikeMessier.com, Mike Messier YouTube channel. Enjoying the Starrcade 91 memories.